it's interesting because you, Large Professor, Q-Tip, you're in the studio with me in High Tech. You develop a relationship with Dilla. You're working with the best producers of all time at this point. You met Kanye working at Baseline.
Yeah.
Talk about meeting Kanye and how you developed such a close friendship, because you're someone who is still around Kanye often to this day.
I actually texted with him this morning.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Did you tell him he was coming here?
Nah, but you know, so no.
Bring him with you next time.
Maybe I will.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, I'll ask.
Yeah. Don't just drag him. Don't just put him in a bag and bag him up.
Yeah.
Drag him in.
That's a different kind of bag. That's a different, ladies and gentlemen. That's a different kind of bag right there. You know, I mean, and you know where we are in life and stuff. Like, it's funny because I could probably say that I could still do that with him. Like, yo, let's go.
Right.
You know,
That's what I'm saying. That's a unique position. There's not a lot of people who are like that.
yeah, but at the same time, I'm considerate enough to know that about, you know, his lifestyle, and you know, so I won't be like, yo, let's go here.
Right.
And plus, I don't really want to go any place anymore because I'm 43 and
I don't want to go any place.
yeah, exactly. But so he's at Baseline one day. And for some reason, like, Baseline was closing, it was shutting down a little early. I guess I don't know, people probably had events to go to or whatever. And it was like around 8-ish or so. And I meet him, and you know, I told him who I was. Like, we introduced ourselves, and I told him
He knew your work though, right?
Yeah, no, he, like, when I told him who I was, he was like, oh,
you're 88 Keys.
like, no, he's like, oh,
Yeah, that's what your name represented for that type of underground hip hop that Kanye was trying to break into at that time.
Yeah. And so he's like, yeah, you know, and then he was telling me like stuff that he made, and he had stuff to his credit.
Beanie Siegel stuff, Jermaine Dupri stuff.
Yeah, but
D-Dot Angeletti.
Yeah, but the Beanie Siegel thing is where we stopped. But you know, so he's naming like, he's like, yo, Foxy Brown stuff, and so he was naming stuff from artists that I was familiar with. But I was part of like that backpack divide. Right. So even though I knew who Foxy Brown was, and you know, and
you
of course,
know album cuts.
I didn't know the album cuts because I was never into Foxy Brown like that. Like she could spit,
right?
But you know, she's flossy,
right? That's not what you were doing, right?
Yeah, so like, nah, you know, I don't listen to raucous records. Shots. Yeah, so you know, so he's naming these artists of, you know, and he's naming artists that, you know, I never heard their full albums, and you know. But then I told him, I said, yo, your name sounds familiar. And I said, you know, I told him, I said, I always thought your name was like Cayenne. So then when he mentioned Beanie Siegel, The Truth,
which is like, that's the first beat I heard from him. That's the one that made me be like, I need some of them beats.
Oh, see,
yeah.
so
Beanie Siegel, The Truth.
Yeah, so he named everybody else, and then when he said that, I was like, yo, I said, you did that? He's
that's
like,
right.
Yeah. And I was like, yo, that's that song. I said, yo, that song and Stop Chill, which Rockwilder did. I said, those are my two favorite songs on the album. And he goes, yeah, that's me. And then he goes, I said, oh, you know, dapping him up, and giving him his props and stuff. He goes, yeah, you know, but I'm finna be a star. I said, what?
Right, well, what?
Yeah. And he's like, yo, I'm finna be a star. And I just looked at him. And I just blinked. I was like, no, this smile, no, this smile. And by the second time he said that, and my reaction, because like I literally didn't know what he was talking about, what he said, and then he goes, "I'm going to be a star," like that. I said, "Oh," I said, "Why?" He said, "Oh, because I rap too." I said, "All right, cool." I said, "Yo, let me hear something." So you know, he says rap, and the rap was kind of cool, but you know, it was cool, but it was like regular. It was like, oh, you know, you got punchlines here and there, whatever. And then at that time, I had like 3 raps in my catalog because I was never trying to be a rapper back then. But you know, just the fair exchange, and then he just kept going. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh yeah, you can rap. You know, give him his props. And when he told me that, at that moment, like I didn't have any reason to doubt that he was going to be a star. Right. But so I'm thinking like, yeah, he's gonna, you know, he'll probably get a record deal. You know, he'll probably make some noise or whatever. Hopefully, I'll get some beats on there or whatever. But he saw it all. So, studio was shutting down. And we're all going home. At the time, you know, I lived in Newark, New Jersey. So, you know, we're walking together. We walk out together. We take the elevator, and, you know, we're chopping it up or whatever. And so we're walking, and I'm going towards Penn Station to get home. And, you know, and he's walking with me. And so I'm thinking, like, you know, and I don't want, like, he wasn't, like, talking my ear off or whatever, but, you know, he's asking me these questions and stuff like that. And, you know, then I walk into Penn Station, and I'm walking downstairs, and he's, like, kind of I'm thinking he's following me. And so, but I'm thinking like, yo, he probably lives in Queens or in Brooklyn or whatever. So he's gonna take the A or whatever. So we walk down and then we walk up. I'm walking up towards the New Jersey Transit, and he's following me still. And by that time, I was like, all right, you got to go this way because like the E and C is right there, and then you go that little path to get to the A. Right. And so I'm thinking, so by this time, I'm like, yo, is he following me? And I was like, yo, where you going? Like,
where are you going? Yeah. I know where I'm going.
Where are you going?
But in my mind, the question really came out like, yo, where do you think you're going?
Yeah, right.
So I said, where you going? He goes, I live in Newark. I said, oh, that's crazy. I said, I live in Newark too. And he said, oh, word? Like, I just moved there and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I remember that crib.
Yeah. At the Renaissance
was always on the couch.
Which came... Like I introduced them.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, by that time I was going over there. It was always Consequence on the couch.
Yeah. So he was, and in all honesty, like I was like, yo, that's cool that you live there, but he was hyped about it. So he was hyped that we both lived in Newark, and then he was like, yo, man, we should link up. We should hang out. I said,
yeah, I mean, he had come to New York to make his name in the business, like in Newark. That probably, to know that he's living in the same city as 88 Keys, have access to you, probably a beautiful thing for him.
Yeah, and it actually became a beautiful thing, and I mean, but I didn't see this coming. So I was like, yeah, come to my spot or whatever, and come through like around noon or whatever, and we hang out and whatever. So Ye came over like around like noon or 1, and I'm thinking like we're gonna do the whole like producer thing. So I showed him my studio, and welcome him in, show him my studio, I play some beats and stuff, like he's rapping and stuff, like we do that. And then so he goes into my living room, he sees my DVD collection, which used to be a thing. And he's like, oh yeah, I got that. And we talking about movies and stuff. And then he sees my PlayStation, and then we start playing PlayStation. So I'm thinking like we just gonna hang out for like a couple of hours, then he showed up like around noon or 1. He didn't leave till like 2 a.m.
Wow.
But the whole time, like just interacting with him was so fun, and this dude is hilarious. So at the end of the night, he's like, yo, you should come to my spot and check my stuff out. I was like, all right, cool. Went to his spot the next day. Same thing happens, and I'm there all day. So from those 2 days to about like, I want to say, damn near till his album came out. So for 4 years straight, we're with each other probably like 5 to 8 hours a day.
Wow.
5 days a week for 4 years straight. Like going on missions, trying bag chicks together.
A lot of bagging of the chicks.
A lot of bagging.
A lot of bagging of the chicks. No. A lot of attempts of bagging of the chicks. A lot of attempts. So we became best friends, but back then, like we wouldn't say, oh, this is my best friend, like, but so I want to say like a month went by of us, like the first month, he tells me that his mom's coming through, is paying him a visit, and
rest in peace of Donda West.
Rest in peace, and that I should come by and meet her. I was like, all right, cool, yeah, I'll meet your mom and stuff. So came through. And met his mother, and she was very like warm and welcoming and stuff like that. And then when I found out she was a doctor, I was like, oh, I'm impressed and stuff. Right. So
he was raised to be impressed by the doctors.
Exactly.
He was raised to be a doctor.
Right.
Exactly, and that didn't work out. So that afternoon, meeting his mom, and Ye went into his room. I think he was starting to work on some music or whatever. So she sat me down at the table, and she's like, she looked me dead in my eye, and she tells me how appreciative of me.
Wow.
And she said, I speak to Kanye every day, every night, and he always talks about you. He talks about this friend that he made out here in New York. We were in Newark and stuff like that he made this real friend in New York, and that you really look out for him and you really try to take care of him and stuff like that. And she said, I want you to know that I appreciate you for that, and you're family now.
That's beautiful.
And I never had a conversation like that with my mother. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even know how to. So by this time I was an adult. I was 20 or whatever, and I was like, oh, thanks. And but I didn't like I knew what it was, but I didn't really fully internalize it.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm just like, yo, that's Ye.
Right.
What we done started. Look at what we done started. This the people party. When opportunity knocking, then young nigga move that door. Whoa, get your foot stuck, get it, call me young, go get it. They can't fuck with it, might as well roll with it.